Full-size luxury sedans are a dying breed, but that isn't stopping Genesis from bringing us an all-new G90 for the 2023 model year. The grandiose styling is one thing, but what really is going to get your attention is this all-new powertrain. Now, Genesis became a full-on luxury brand in 2015, and the Genesis G90 didn't start as a G90. It actually started as the EQ900 in South Korea, and that ran from 2015 to 2019. The G90 reached our shores in September of 2016. In America, it only came in 2 powertrains. Don't worry, we'll get into the spreadsheet and discuss all these powertrains, old and new, here in a second. All model years of the first generation and the upcoming second generation use an 8-speed automatic transmission. Rear-wheel drive is standard. You can also get it equipped with all-wheel drive. The pre-facelifted first generation G90 was pretty ugly in my opinion, but the facelift came in 2018 with a huge grille, grandiose styling, and really shook up the large sedan luxury market. That refresh happened in 2018 in Korea, and that was when the EQ900 was renamed the G90 for the Korean market. Now, Korea also gets a G90L, a long wheelbase version of the G90, and that has only been available with the V8 5-liter all-wheel drive. But we're all excited for the second generation G90, taking what looks to be styling cues from Bentley, maybe a little Rolls-Royce. It's definitely very stately looking. The vehicle was revealed on November 30th, 2021, and it is employing the twin light system we see on other Genesis products. The cube-shaped projection lights definitely look like they're taken out of the Ioniq 5's playbook. On the back, not only do we have the light bar, we have a double light bar, kind of taking that dual line or dual headlight effect into the rear. And just like the first generation G90, this will be getting a long wheelbase as well for certain markets. Sales for the large luxury sedan market had definitely been in the toilet for the past decade, it seems, unless you're the S-Class. Here we are with the G90. In 2016, they sold a peak of 26,109 vehicles, and it has been declining largely ever since. It will be interesting to see with this 2023 model if we're going to get back into 5 digits. In 2021, yes, the automaker and largely the global automakers had a lot of supply chain issues, and that's probably affecting the sales of the G90. Their Korean sales were just a blip on the radar. Their Canadian sales, well, they're not even worth talking about. In the United States, sales in 2021 dipped below 2,000 for the first time since 2016 when they introduced it for the first time. And compared to its peak sales in 2016 and 2021 was less than a third of its peak sales just a few years prior. Is 2022 going to show us a revival with this second generation? In blue, we have the first generation engines for the G90. We have the 2 V6s, which were based off the Lambda generation of engines from Hyundai. We never saw this 3.8 liter V6 that I'm aware of in the United States or North America for that matter. What we saw largely was the 3.3 twin turbo V6 with 365 horsepower, 376 pound-feet of torque. This engine is still in the G70 twin turbo variant. 0 to 60 on that twin turbo V6 was very brisk at just 6.2 seconds. That's roughly the same speed as the fully electric BZ4X that I just took out about a month ago when I was in Encinitas, California. So that sort of acceleration is very, very impressive for a large vehicle like this. But the V8 was the most, I would say, the most desirable of all the G90s. The 420 horsepower and 383 pound-feet of torque. But they killed off this V8 with this second generation G90, and that is a dagger in the hearts for a lot of large luxury sedan fans. Look, when Lexus went to the LS500 in 2017 for the 2018 model year, dropping the 4.6 liter V8 and deciding not to put their own 5 liter V8 in the LS, opting for a twin turbo V6, it definitely didn't help the sales of the vehicle. And that vehicle is one of the least desirable models in the Lexus lineup. Even though the brand started on that vehicle, the vehicle has a ton of heritage and history. It's just not what it used to be without the V8. That V6 just isn't as smooth, and it doesn't sound as good. It's just not as a luxurious experience as the previous V8s were. Anyways, let's get back on track to the G90 here. V8, rest in peace. We're going to miss it for sure. It has been replaced with some interesting options. They're getting rid of the 3.3 turbo with the SmartStream 3.5 turbo that we see in the GV70, GV80, G80. So this makes sense, right? With 375 horsepower, 391 pound-feet of torque. But this EPA document just detailed everything about the new engine that's coming, kind of replacing the V8 in terms of power output. So if we go back to the spreadsheet, the EPA has confirmed a twin turbo V6 with an electric supercharger with a 48 volt mild hybrid system. It's crazy complex. It reminds me a little bit of what Volvo does, also a little bit of what Mazda is doing with their Skyactiv X engines with their electric superchargers and mild hybrid. So it's a Frankenstein engine, and it's pretty much the most complicated setup you can have on a modern day engine. But they're able to get 420 horsepower, matching the old school naturally aspirated V8 with a lot less displacement and providing more torque, especially low down torque with that electric supercharger. Now I'm guessing it's going to be just a hair quicker than the 5-liter V8 0 to 60. But if we look at the fuel economy numbers for this 3.5 liter twin charged engine, it really isn't any better than the 5-liter V8. So it's like, why go through all the hustle and bustle, the research and development to bring out a similarly efficient and similarly powered engine just with a bunch of gizmos and tech on it to make a smaller engine produce as much power? It really hurts my head to think about, but it probably had everything to do with emissions. This thing right here, even though fuel economy is about the same, still burning about the same amount of gasoline to get you to point A to point B, it's probably a cleaner burning engine would be my guess. That's why they would be dropping the 5-liter V8. Does twin turbos and electric supercharger with a 48 volt mild hybrid system scream luxury to me over a 5-liter V8? Absolutely not. So if you want the 5-liter V8, definitely see if you can scoop one up on the market, new or used. I'm sure they're still out there. It's going to be, in theory, more reliable, but who's going to be owning these vehicles that long? You got to remember, Hyundai's powertrain warranty, Genesis for that matter, is 10 years, 100,000 miles. So you'd have to be driving a long time, over a decade and a ton of miles to run out of that warranty to even start considering which would be more reliable. There's no doubt in my mind the naturally aspirated engine would be most reliable. It's also the least stressed in theory. Less things to go wrong. But which engine would you take? Assuming all these engines were available, I mean, there's no doubt the 3.5 liter twin turbo V6 is a good choice. But the 5-liter V8, it's hard to see that go. And I really don't want anything to do with this 48 volt mild hybrid with all sorts of charging going on. But I'll see you guys down below. Are you excited for the G90? Really hope to get my hands on G90 very soon so I can give it to you guys, give you my impressions for the high-end luxury of Genesis. I've really enjoyed the G70. Haven't had a chance to drive the new G80, believe it or not, but the GV70 is very impressive. The GV80 is very impressive for the most part. No car's perfect though. Just watch my reviews if you haven't seen them already. But I'll just say this before ending the video. Genesis will be fully electric by 2025. So they'll just have this setup here on the market for 3 model years. It'll be interesting to see how they'll be able to meet that fully EV deadline by 2025. It's probably for 2026 model year vehicles. That would be my guess. So we're looking at a 3-year span for this Frankenstein twin turbo V6 supercharged engine. Twin charge mild hybrid is probably the easiest way to say it, but it's twin turbocharged. Anyways, I gotta end it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, smash the like button, subscribe for more Korean auto news updates as well as the Japanese end of things. Catch you in the next one, and peace out.